Hey everybody, thanks for joining us. This is an instructional video on anti-gravity equipment. Today I have a special guest with me. It's my friend Wei En. We've been climbing friends for a long time. She is also a physical therapist, and she is here today to teach us a couple of things to help us stay balanced and healthy in our climbing. What's the first exercise that you have for us today?
It's called the Scapular Push Up.
Okay, Scapular Push Up, and why is that important for us?
So it targets one of the shoulder stabilizer muscles, the serratus anterior. So this is your shoulder blade. This muscle actually runs on the front side, so it's between your shoulder blade and the rib cage, and it kind of comes out the front. You might see a couple fibers kind of running under the armpit here.
Okay.
Why it's important, because that's one of the main one that kind of controls positioning of your shoulder blade, which is actually part of the socket part of your ball and socket joint of the shoulder.
Okay, great. And what is a good way to work out that muscle?
So what we call the scapular push-up, usually we have people in a push-up position and you're kind of pushing yourself away from the floor and kind of bring it back. And that pushing away is what kind of activates that muscle, and then you kind of relax as you kind of squeeze it back together.
Okay. And before we started filming, you had mentioned something about the scapula, or is it the rotator cuff, is kind of a floating joint?
The shoulder, essentially, the whole shoulder joint is really made up of 4 joints, and the main joint that kind of connects to your skeleton, your spine, is the shoulder blade with muscles. And so it's really a floating joint because it's not like the hip where you have a solid kind of ball and socket joint to your pelvis, which is part of your spine.
Okay. And so since it's essentially controlled by all those muscles, it's important then to have
because what you can have is the mechanics aren't really good. You start getting into problems of like pinching and other common shoulder symptoms that people get.
Okay, and so that pinching, otherwise commonly known as
The impingement, yep.
Okay, great. So would it be all right if I tried it and then you can tell me if I'm doing it right?
Sure.
Perfect. And I'm gonna just take off my sweatshirt here. So I'm going to start off in the
push-up position,
top push-up
your
position.
Arms up right directly under your shoulder, in good plank position, so still need to engage the core with it. And you want to keep that core engaged the whole time so you're staying flat. What you want to do is try to think about pushing yourself away from the floor. Yep, just rounding it just a little bit like that. And then you come back down, squeeze a little bit without the core, the stomach sagging essentially.
So not like that.
Yeah, not sagging. Yep, so that stays flat and constant. You just push away and then come down. It's a pretty small motion, but you should really feel that in a different way.
Yeah.
So try and push out a little bit more. Push away, yeah, there you go. And squeeze, good, and push away. And the common thing too is you don't want to feel these guys engaging where your kind of shoulders go up towards your neck, because then you're using a lot more of your upper trap, which is a common compensation people do when this muscle is weak.
Yeah, so earlier I definitely was feeling like this come up.
Yep.
And
so
that's
you
using
don't
more
want that.
Okay.
You want just to feel right here, push away, away, away from the floor. You can go a little bit more. I see you go. There you go. And away. Round those shoulders. And this one usually fatigues pretty quickly.
Yeah.
For most people, maybe 7 to 10 reps, they might get tired if they do it correctly.
Okay. Yeah, that was really tiring. So a lot of stuff going on there. Tightening of the core, really working to sort of like isolate a particular muscle group that I don't think I'm really used to using that much. One thing I did notice when I was kind of going up and down, like obviously this is my chest, but if this was my back, it's like kind of like a stretching this way. Is that pretty?
Like on the back?
Yeah.
Because you are kind of rounding the shoulders out, so you are kind of stretching that a little bit, and then as you come back, that's kind of you're then kind of relaxing the muscle. You were using the serratus anterior, and then now the back muscles like the mid traps and rumblings were shortening.
Okay, so just to sum it up then, it would be top push-up position, so plank, tighten up the core. You're just gonna drop the shoulder blades down and bring them together a little bit, and then press away from the floor, round out your back, maintaining everything tight and straight at the same time.
Yep. And then if that's too difficult for someone, then they can do it standing against the wall, or against the wall is too easy, they can do it like against a table, so like a partial push-up position.
Okay.
You can just vary that angle.
And in terms of sets and reps, what do you think would be a good starter?
So usually kind of 8 to 15. So on the lower end, when it's fatiguing you, like within 2 or 3 reps of fatigue, you really want to stop. Otherwise, you're just going to lose your form.
Okay.
And as you get stronger, you'll find that you'll be able to do more repetitions. And anytime you can hit 20 reps in a set and you can do 3 sets of that, it's probably too easy for you and it's time to kind of do something harder.
Okay. Great. So that's something really good to start off with. And then lastly, just about how many times per week would you recommend?
Usually about 3 times a week for strengthening.
Okay. Great. So that was the scapular push-up. Thanks, Leanne.
Okay.